My stepson's mom told me to stop sharing my language and culture with him when he's at my house because it's useless and to only speak the home country language or English. Posted by you/mariachi. I have been with my 32F husband, 39M, for about 7 years. He has a son, 9M, from a former relationship, and we didn't even know he existed until about 5 years ago, when his ex, 40F, contacted him demanding child support. She admits the only reason she even let him know about the kid was because she found out we were engaged and she wanted to rain on his parade. After a lot of back and forth and legal shenanigans, we got sort of 50-50, first was therapy, dissertation, etc., but we are now at 50-50. Anyway, I come from Latin America, and my stepson is really fascinated by many of the cultural things and the language. He met my parents on their last visit, and he is really a lovely, bright, and curious kid. He started picking up some of the words, and now we speak Spanish on a daily basis when he is with us. His mom didn't have an issue until he started to ask if he could come to my country the next time we visited. We told him we have to discuss it among the adults, but he is very interested. We have no issue. My family has said that he is more than welcome. I come from a blended family, and we would, of course, cover all the costs. She really dislikes the idea, not because of the travel or anything else, but because she believes are using money to turn him against her. There are many issues between them already because he thinks she is a liar for not telling him about his dad, and yeah, it's hard sometimes. But we talk a lot, my stepson and I, of having blended families and understanding parents. Anyway, she told me I had to stop encouraging/sharing the language and the culture in my house when he is with us and to speak the home country language or English. I said no. I have been very passive through the whole thing, since the beginning, but I am exhausted by her demands. I understand she is his mom, but I see no harm in the kid speaking Spanish like a native, plus the other two he does, and I see no issue with him traveling abroad and having more cultural connections. Hell, I even offered to pay for her to come along with her husband. She says I am a very big, snobbish jerk and she is going to see how to keep the kid away from me. Not possible. Her husband says I should be more understanding and not step on her toes when the kid already is not her biggest fan. My husband says he just wants the best for the kid and sees no wrong with him learning and traveling. I would like an outside, impartial perspective about it. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Not the jerk, you were just being nice about finding out you had a stepson after 4 years of him being alive. It would be logical for someone to want to be kind to a child, even a stranger, since you had been hidden from him his whole life. First off, your husband's ex only revealed he existed because she wanted to make your husband's life difficult for leaving her. You were being nice, and your husband's ex is the one who's being aggressive, and, in a way, a bit racist, if you look at it, since she doesn't want her child speaking Spanish, even though knowing 2 languages is better than knowing 1. Ops response. To be fair, I did cry a lot at first because I was just in shock. But as I said, I come from a blended family, and even my parents consider him their first, and only, at the moment, grandchild. I think it's more that she is jealous of the relationship, but you are right, she believes French or even Italian would be more useful than Spanish because nobody needs Spanish in Europe. He actually knows 3 languages, and I am so proud of him because he is really good at them. Commenter. She sounds like she's trying to control her child, and if your child prefers being with you and your husband over his mom and her husband, maybe you should consider pursuing full custody of your stepson. Her push against him learning Spanish also comes across as discriminatory. By saying the language isn't needed, it implies a disregard for Latino/Hispanic cultures, which is unfair and narrow-minded. Ops response. She believes the language is useless for a European. My take is that she thinks anything related to me is useless, which is why she makes such a big deal out of it. We have considered full custody, but I'm against it. As much of a pain in the rear as she is, she's his mom, and I don't want him to be hurt anymore. Op on her stepson and his relationship with bio-mom. They have a baddish relationship. He's not happy that she lied to him about not knowing his dad. Things got worse when she had her second child with her husband, but at the moment it's okay-ish, though not good. We want him to have the same opportunities as his future siblings will have because it wouldn't be fair otherwise. My parents adore him as well, consider him their grandchild, and want to help as much as they can too. Op includes more info about the situation when the other brother was born in a different comment. We did have an issue when his brother was born about 2 years ago because he spent a bit more time with us while his mom recovered postpartum. Anyway, he did call me mama, and even though my heart melted, I panicked. I called my parents, and they helped me figure out how to make him understand that I love him very, very much, but I am not his mom. He was kind of salty, for lack of a better word, for a couple of days, but then he agreed to give me a nickname that has nothing to do with mom in any language. He calls my parents by the nicknames I've used for them forever, so they're also not called Grandpa or Grandma, but they do love him a lot and consider him their grandchild. I can be super petty, but I feel this duty to protect him and show him the best ways I can, which is why I tolerate her so much. Update 3 months later. I want to thank all the nice messages, the mean messages, and the realistic messages. Anyway, my stepson is now staying with us most of the time. We had no battle or issue. It's just what we decided after a proper heart-to-heart conversation between moms. When the time comes for a possible trip to my country, we'll discuss it again, but at the moment, it's a yes. The heart-to-heart was a very emotional and complex talk, but I felt it had to happen. She is, after all, part of my life forever, and I want her to know she is the mommy, no matter what. I saw a completely different side of her, and I know it's not a magic wand, but I have noticed the changes. I am pregnant. I know I shouldn't say so this early. I was already pregnant when I made my first post but didn't even know, but we are also positive and almost in the clear. Even my stepson's mom. Everybody has taken it as a celebration, and the only time we had an issue was when we talked about bedrooms at our flat because my son thought he had to give up his super nice one for my true baby, as he called it. But we assured him his bedroom is forever his, unless we move. My parents will be arriving in the next few months and asked if they could bring extra gifts for my son to make the transition easier, and his mom said yes. It seems that somehow me having a baby has made her realize we are so linked, or I don't know, maybe it was my husband saying he would not allow more disrespect, lol. My parents also asked if it was okay to bring gifts for her kids, and she said yes as well. My mom is the happiest person now because she is in full shopping mode, lol. She has been very civil and even nice, and in response, she has gained a better relationship with our son. I'm convinced he is smart enough to have orchestrated all of it, but I have mommy/baby brain. We've agreed to raise them all as together as possible. I said I can contribute to the education fund for all the kids if she allows me, and she said yes on the condition they all go to the same school. I want my kids in Spanish Kita, she wants hers in a regular Kita. I thought we would have a fight again, but her husband told her my kids will speak Spanish no matter what she wants and that it's a useful language, so all kids in our tribe should speak Spanish. And she agreed. I almost fainted. Now we've decided to divide care after daycare and Kita, pre-kindergarten/kindergarten, and I will speak to the kids in Spanish so they become naturals. My son is the happiest because now he feels all his families are in sync and he can just chill, and that makes me extremely happy. In addition, she said my son can come with us if he wants, but we need to let her know at least a year in advance, and she will do the same with us, which I find reasonable. Second update 1 month later. I know no one might see this, but I got a couple of messages, some found it heartwarming, some not exactly, so we have little announcements and clarifications. She, my son's mom, has always been in therapy. It was determined when this all started back in the day. She was never outright cruel or super mean, it was just that she was not nice to me or my relationship until now that she's trying. She gets a say just as much as I do in education. I know it's weird, but I was raised in a sort of communal, unusual experience, and we all excel in our areas. I would never do anything to put distance between my son and his siblings. I'm trying to instill that they are his siblings, and for the one he already has, it's just that way. If he doesn't like it, I'll drop it, but he seems very receptive to the blended family. She has issues that stem from other places, childhood, family, and so on, and she is truly trying to be better and not be the person who did things just to ruin an engagement. My son stays mainly with us lately because he wants to, and that has made his relationship with his mother better. My son is even written into my parents' will, that's how much I love him, so yes. He is my son too. My parents are here and will be staying for a while. My in-laws are very careful with their excitement, and my parents, with permission, took my son on a little adventure and assured him they love him very, very much and that their love is infinite. He feels better now because he said he was worried they wouldn't love him anymore because of my real baby. He is in therapy, always has been, but now we've addressed it. He made it clear he wants me to still love him like I do, and I have assured him I do, and I always will. He's going on a solo trip with his dad and another solo trip with both dads. My husband and her husband have always had a good relationship, and I think it never got better because of all the stuff. My son is involved in naming the baby, it's between the three of us only. The drama portion. My husband wants us to move so we have bigger bedrooms for everyone, but I don't feel like it because, pregnancy and adaptation. I want my son to be able to adapt before we start moving. My husband believes I'm just coddling him way too much, but I explained my perspective, being from a blended family as a kid, and he backed off. When we do look for a place, we will be looking for one that we all like. End of drama portion. I'm an insomniac and that hasn't changed at all, so here we are, haha, only I don't drink wine anymore, lol. My son's mom is actually giving me really good tips. We're working on our wills and so on because I'm developing a fear about the children's future, yay. And lastly, my husband is the most patient, caring, loving, goofy man. I know I got a few critics saying he should have stepped in when the bad stuff happened, but he is very neutral and always asked me if I was okay. He always said if I said no, he would have changed his tune. We are still so far from perfect. We just had a discussion about the type of school my son should go to next, a thing in the country, but I'm glad it's now a discussion and not an argument. Also, the baby is doing amazing. Third update 2 months later. Hey guys, I like that I can express myself freely here. I know some think our story is weird, others wholesome, others the best, but for us, it's a sort of dream at the moment. We got a new house. It was picked by the three of us, husband, son, me, and it is lovely and beautiful and everything we want for our kids. I always said I wanted to have just 2 kids, so after this one is born, we will be closed for business. My husband will get a vasectomy so I don't need to deal with hormones or birth control. I would also like to mention that the new house is huge and has a guest room so my son's brother can stay whenever he wants, they have done so before. Also, my kid turned 10. We are at a weird time, but we had a little family gathering with all 6 of his grandparents and all 4 of his parents. He was very happy and enjoyed it with the friends he invited. We all coordinated presents so we didn't outstitch each other or give him repeated gifts. I was so happy we could finally do something like this. As for my baby, she is a girl. I told my son and thought it might create issues, but he is so excited about it. We've been having family therapy too, just in case, but the therapist says the kid is doing amazing and to please not overthink things. We had a gender reveal party, which I find kind of silly, but my son wanted to because they are very internet famous. It was just family and a couple of friends. When they realized it was a girl, they all paused for a second, and my son was so excited, then everyone got excited. I am very, very happy with my family. His trips with his dad and dad's went great, so we took him on a mommy's trip. We took a lot of precautions, of course, but we had a blast, as much of a blast as you can have with a pregnant woman in Europe, if you know, you know. He deserves it because he is the best kid ever. As for my parents, they are really happy to do things for the kid and love being around him. He, or anyone other than me, doesn't know about the will or anything, he just loves them because he's nice. My parents are considering staying permanently because they want to be close, so that might be another thing coming. My in-laws are helping them find a permanent rental, and we are just also excited. As for Mom, she has been more understanding and nice. I understand she was bitter, but she truly wants the best for our son, and that is our biggest common ground. And yes, she has taken up Spanish via an app. She said she wanted the kids to see us equally, which I've always found a bit unnecessary since she's a nurse and clearly very qualified. We've had many conversations about my parents' involvement, but she is more willing to give space lately. She and her family, who have always been delightful, are now all learning the language as a way to keep us all connected. We have movie night at least twice a week, sometimes with more people than other times. I just want to let people know that things can get better, and people are complicated, and people can love unconditionally. I apologize for my typing skills, tried doing so at a desk with a belly the size of a watermelon.